Hey guys, and welcome to a tutorial of Xcode. And in this video, I'm just basically going to give you a tutorial of Xcode. And if you don't have Xcode, you can get it on the App Store. Alright, let's begin. So let's just double click create a new Xcode project. And then we'll get something like this. And all this means is we just need to select the kind of application we want to make. We can make an iOS application that you'll see on your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch, that type of application. But we're not going to do that today. You can also make a watchOS application, for the Apple Watch. We're not going to do that either today. We're going to do OS X today. And then you can apparently make a tvOS one now, and I've not gotten into that yet. Sounds exciting. And then for OS X, you can do a Cocoa application or, anything else. Then there's other stuff you can do. Today we're going to do an OS X application. Just select application under OS X and then click Cocoa application. Let's click next. Let's call our program My First Program. And the rest should be good as long as you've selected Swift. And everything else should be good. Hit next. Next, let's save it. Oh, I thought I deleted that. Okay, well, I guess I was wrong. So I'm just going to go down here and select my Xcode folder. I'm going to create a new folder called My First Program. Click Create. And this is probably what you're going to see when you first load your Xcode project. And all this is just settings, basically. It's just settings where you change settings in your app. You can, or program, you can change your version number, build, signing, we'll get into that another time, deployment info, and all this. If you're first time doing Swift, some of this may, or a first time programmer, some of this may sound kind of confusing. But I will explain about that more and more later on. Now this is where you can browse files in Xcode. We'll get into that. I'm just going to go through the basic ones you need to know. Over here you can look at errors or warnings, and this will be important. This shows when there's a debug session. We're not doing a debug session right now. And then this, as I said, you can explore files in your project. So these two files are just code, and we'll use viewcontroller.swift a lot to add code in there. That's viewcontroller.swift there, and we'll add code in there maybe sometime. And this one, assets.xc assets, which stands for Xcode assets. This is where you add images, like your app icon that'll show up in the, for example, the dock when you create your application and run it. You'll see these icons in places. So, and I'm going to show you how to add those icons right now, but first you'll need a tool. So you may want to pause the video and grab this tool from at the App Store. It's called Prepo. So go ahead and get that. And then next we need to go to Finder and find just an image, and that's what I'm gonna do. Actually, it might be in my downloads. I'm not sure exactly where it is. Let me see. I'm not sure if I still have it in my downloads or not. Maybe I don't. Well, alright, let me go back here. I don't know if I have the original icon here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so now you'll go into Prepo and just open Prepo. Then go here to Finder, and we're just going to drag and drop this original image straight into Prepo. And then we'll get, this is what we're going to get. It's automatically went to iOS, we want OS X, so make sure to hit OS X. And that's what you'll get. Alright, and this may seem a little confusing, but you'll see a correlation once we export. So just click Export. And then I'm going to go over here in my documents, and I'm going to go to my programs folder, and I'm going to create a new folder called My First Program. And I'm going to create another folder called Image, and then I'm just going to hit Choose. And it just exported it. Alright, so now let's go over here to Xcode, go to Finder. Let's find that there. My first program, image, and then double click that. Now if you look here, it says, see, max 16, I believe that's pixels if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, doesn't really matter what it means, and you'll see it, we've got 16 right there. And then you see it says 1x right here, which means just the just 16 pixels, and then 2x, or 2 times, that's twice as big. So this one will go right in here. If it's gonna, oh, it froze. All right, we'll wait for that. Usually I don't have problems when dragging images in like that. It's possible it's because Prepo still is open. I don't know. I'm just gonna hit don't save. Okay, there, it added it. Then we need to add the 2x right here. See, 2x, 2x, 16, 16. See how that works? So we just continue like that. Now we find the 32, drag in the 32 there, and then go to the 32 2x, drag that in, and then I'm just going to drag this down here. Then find the 128, drag that in, then find the 128 at 2x. Then we'll go to the 256, drag that in here, and then at 2x, just right there, and I'll drag this over here. And then the 512, just drag that right here, and then the 2x right there. There you go. Your app icon is in. All right. So now later when we run our program, we'll see the app icon. It'll show up. I'll show you some places, other places it'll show up. Now this main.storyboard is where we'll edit the layout of our app, and you'll see how that works. So I'm just going to show you some basic stuff. You know, this is your bar, you know, on top here, same thing. So what you can do, you can edit stuff. You should leave that. Depends we'll leave some of these things, and then depending on what we'll be doing with our app, I remove these, and I believe you can add them later. So again, there has to be a way. I've never had to do that, but I just remove these just by hitting the delete button on your keyboard, by the way. And I usually leave window and help at least. Alright, then we can click this here where it says window. Actually, sometimes you have to, oh, right there. Yeah. And then let's name it my first program, so that's what's going to show up when we run our application. And then we'll do the same thing here, my first program. After, hope I'm not moving too fast. This should automatically show up here. And then let's just add a couple things. So if this is where you add objects and things to your application, like you can add a button and stuff. So let's enter in a label. Let's drag it on and just center it like so. And let's make the text say link below. And you'll see where I'm going with this. And then let's see, we're gonna go over here and we're gonna make the text bigger. So just click this over here. Now, of course, it's not looking right, so we just have to drag that to make it fit. And then let's just drag it back to where it was. Now let's search for a button and just add a push button. You know, you can add other buttons. I just like to add a push button. And then let's just call that go. Alright, and I'm going to resize this a little bit. Well, I think we can just leave it like that. Alright, and then how about we add some code? Want to do that? Alright, so let's just select this button. Oh, well, let me go in order here. To close this window, because we won't want this anymore, just click this button up here. So that goes away. And then we're going to click this button right here to open the assistant editor. And then we'll see our storyboard over here. and our code here on the other side. And okay, I did not expect that. Okay, so if this happens, this doesn't usually happen to me. If you get the wrong code, don't play around with that. Just go up here and select viewcontroller.swift. Okay, so alright, I was confused there for a minute, like what happened? Alright, and the way we name objects in our code and apply actions to them, it's called outlet function or action function, basically IB outlet function. So we can just drag it right there, click this label, and then hit control. Sorry, I skipped a step. Sorry. Okay, I'm too good at this. So just click the label, hit control on your keyboard, and then just drag over here into just right here. And then yes, we want the connection to be outlet, and let's just call this link label, just like that. Just hit enter, and then let's select the go button, hit control, and then drag, and then this time we're going to make this one an action, so select action, and then just call it go button. Okay, hit enter, and now we've got that there. Now we're going to add a link, and this piece of code is kind of long and I don't really remember it, so I'm going to open one of my recent projects where I use this piece of code, quite a bit. I'm just going to go up here to the top, and I'm just going to select this here. And don't get confused, I just need to select this code. Whoops, it's not selecting like I want it to. Come on. I don't usually have that kind of problem. There we go. Okay, now just hit Command C. Well, I'm going to do that, and then you'll just type it in. I'm going to close that project. Alright, I'm just going to hit Command V. So it's nsworkspace.sharedworkspace, and then just put a pair of parentheses, .open URL, then open parenthesis, NSURL, open parenthesis, string, colon, open parenthesis, and then we're going to add our link in there. Then you'll add quotes in there. So I'm going to get rid of this so that doesn't confuse you. So just quotes there, close parenthesis, exclamation mark, closed parenthesis. Alright, so I'm just going to add in our website there, mnccoding.wordpress.com for now. Okay, now we're going to see if that works. Alright, so if you followed all the steps, this should be a piece of cake for you. Alright, so this big button, this big play button over here, you click that to run your program, and you'll see it run on your Mac. So let's click run. And usually, at least the first time, it takes just a little longer to start debugging. So we'll see that come up. The icon I chose doesn't really match, but you get the idea. We're just using that for demonstration purposes. And it says we're building the program. Has to copy in all the Swift libraries and compile the storyboard. This is the storyboard here. And yeah, and then it'll build and run it, and then we'll see it bounce over here in the dock, and then we'll actually see our program. Once it runs. Alright, it says running. So it'll take a little bit to actually start. Usually for me, I've got an old Mac, so it's not all that powerful either, and it's got a lot of stuff on it, so for me the first time is pretty slow. I plan to get a new Mac sometime soon, but hopefully, but they're expensive these days, so I'm making do with this for now. it works. It's teaching me patience, I guess. Alright. Here it comes. I think. We should see the debug bar show up over here once we're getting close. Oh, yeah, here it comes. Alright. Bouncing in the dock. Here it is. So there it is. Remember we specified this, my first program. Link below, that's our stuff. And then let's just click go. And there's no application set to open the URL. Okay, well let's stop that. I've never had that kind of problem. Maybe we needed to specify its HTTP. That's possible. HTTP://. Oops, what happened? There we go. Let's try that. Make sure we have no errors. Okay, good. Let's try that again. So hit run. It should be quicker this time. Okay, let's try it now. Go. There, that's working. It's opening Safari. I'm not gonna open it right now because I have too much open Safari. So, anyways, so that worked. So let's. Whoops, why did I stop it? All right, and then let's explore. So I wanted to show you like where those icons show up, right? Other than down in the dock. Also, like if you click about, then it'll show up here, in your about area. And if you click help, you can't add help, but it shows up there. And I wanted to show you one more place it would show up, so I'm going to open my other project again. I'm storing some code in there, so I'm going to scroll up. I have a lot of code in this one. It's over, where is it? Oh, here it is. So I'm just going to copy this code, and some of it will contain errors. Whoops, I did not want Spotlight. Command C. I was thinking Windows. I'm gonna minimize that. Let's go to our view controller.swift, and let's make some room here and paste that in there. Now we're gonna have an error. That's fine. I'm going to let's actually just copy this code again and just paste it straight in there. Okay, and let me explain the code so I don't make this. Let's modify this first. There we go. Alright, so basically what this does, it creates a message box which pops up as a message, and basically all this is doing is creating that message. So we can set our message text to option, or to any text we want. This informative text is a smaller text that explains, and then these alert.add button with title, that's saying so add a button to this variable, and this variable is the same thing as an NS alert, or a message box. So that's how that works. And then this here, in case NS alert first button return, this basically runs code based like on the first button that was added. If that button was clicked, then it'll run this code. Okay? So that's how that works. And then a function is just a whole block of code being stored. So it won't do anything unless we put it under an action IB action function. So let's erase that code and just type in message box and then just parentheses just like that, and then that will call this whole function and it'll run all this code, and then we'll see what happens. And then my whole point of this is to show you that, well, how else the icon shows up, but this is also, you know, very useful for you to know anyways. So anyways, let's hit run. And it will compile the Swift files, and then it'll come up much quicker than the first time. So here it comes. Yeah, much faster. Alright, so let's hit go. Alright, here you go. So it's actually a very nice, you know, pretty nice looking message. It shows your icon there. Option, would you like to go to the web address mnccoding.wordpress.com? If we click yes, it starts to open Safari and go over there, and I'm not going to do that. But now if we click no, it just simply closes it because I did not specify any code to it. I didn't, you know, if I'd wanted, I could have typed in, you know, case ns alert second button return, and then, you know, I could have added something in there, you know, but because I didn't automatically add something, it just, you know, it just closes it, and I like that. I don't have to do any extra work on that. So yeah, that's kind of that's like, I guess, your first introduction to Xcode and making your first OS X program. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you keep watching, you'll get more and more advanced until you can probably make a decent program. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, if you're watching on YouTube, just hit the like button. We